On the night of the engagement, Adebimpe's hair transformed into snakes that chased and hunted him through a dark forest. He woke up screaming and ran out of the palace, never to return. Princess Adebimpe was born to the wise Oba Adewale and his loving wife Olori Abike, who ruled the kingdom of Ilesha that lay in the lush and verdant land of Osun State. Everyone knew she was special because of her extraordinarily long and beautiful hair. Her hair was as black as coal, as fluffy as wool, and it shimmered in the sunlight like the waters of a serene lake. As she grew, so did her hair, and it only became more beautiful, reaching down to her feet and trailing behind her as she walked. Adebimpe's hair became the talk of the kingdom. People traveled far and wide just to catch a glimpse of the princess with the enchanting hair. Her parents were proud of her, and they believed she would one day marry a noble prince who would love and cherish her. But as Adebimpe reached the age of 16, something strange began to happen. Suitors came from distant lands, drawn by tales of her beauty and her remarkable hair. Yet, each suitor who stayed at the palace would flee in terror the following morning. They claimed that in their dreams, Adebimpe's hair transformed into a network of snakes that hunted them relentlessly through the night. The palace was in uproar, and whispers of a curse began to spread through the kingdom. Prince Adeyemi from the neighboring kingdom of Ibadan was the first to seek Adebimpe's hand. He was handsome and brave young man, admired by many. When he saw Adebimpe, he was mesmerized by her beauty and hair. The kingdom celebrated their engagement with a grand feast, and villagers were filled with joy. But that night, Adeyemi had a terrifying dream. He dreamed that Adebimpe's hair turned into snakes, hissing and slithering towards him. They wrapped around his body, squeezing him tightly. He woke up in a cold sweat, his heart pounding with fear. The next morning, Prince Adeyemi left the kingdom without looking back, leaving Adebimpe heartbroken and confused. A few months later, another suitor came. His name was Prince Olademeji, a wealthy and intelligent man from the kingdom of Oyo. He too was enchanted by Adebimpe's beauty and her long, beautiful hair. He proposed to her, and once again, the kingdom celebrated with joy. However, on the night of the engagement, Prince Olademeji had the same horrifying dream. Adebimpe's hair transformed into snakes that chased and hunted him through a dark forest. He woke up screaming and ran out of the palace, never to return. As time passed, more suitors came, and each one had the same nightmare. Soon, the curse spread through the palace and the kingdom. Many woke up with snake bites all over their bodies, and people began to die. The people of Ilesha began to lament that Adebimpe's hair was cursed. Some said it was the work of a jealous witch, while others believed it was a punishment from the gods and demanded that Adebimpe's hair be cut off. The king had no choice but to listen to the voice of the people and arranged for Adebimpe's hair to be cut off. Adebimpe felt ashamed and lonely. She didn't understand why this was happening to her. But when she woke up the next morning, her hair had grown back to the length it was before it was cut. Everyone began to fear her even more. They called her a witch. Even her parents were shocked at how her hair could grow back overnight. They cut the hair several times after, but the result was the same. The people grew more agitated and demanded she should be stoned to death. One day, a woman named Iya Alakija, known for her wisdom and knowledge of ancient traditions, came to the palace. She requested to speak with the king and queen. Oba Adewale, Olori Abike, she began. There is a dark secret about Adebimpe's hair that you must know. Iya Alakija told them a story from a long time ago. She spoke of a powerful witch named Moremi who lived in the forest near Ilesha. She was feared by all because of her immense powers. Moremi had a daughter, Aderonke, who was also beautiful with long enchanting hair. This enchanting hair of her daughter was the source of Moremi's power. But Aderonke fell in love and eloped with a man against Moremi's wish. The enemy soon came and defeated Moremi. And at her death, Moremi, who was heartbroken and enraged, cast a spell on her daughter's hair, turning it into nests of snakes that would hunt any man who tried to marry her. Moremi's curse had a condition. It would remain until a brave soul could break it by proving their love and courage. The revelation spread through the palace and beyond, reaching every corner of the kingdom. The people of Ilesha began to fear and avoid Princess Adebimpe, believing her to be cursed. Whenever she walked through the village, people would run away, whispering and gossiping about her. One day, a large crowd gathered outside the palace, protesting and demanding that Princess Adebimpe be sent away. They feared that the curse would bring misfortune to the entire kingdom. Oba Adewale and Olori Abike were heartbroken by the cruelty of their people, but they knew they had to protect their daughter. Oba Adewale, seeking a solution, remembered the words of Iya Alakija. Snakes were inactive in the cold. With a heavy heart, he reached out to the powerful ones in the kingdom, who helped him install an ice palace deep in the mountains that would block the snakes from attacking anyone outside the walls of the ice palace. There, Adebimpe would be safe from harm, and the curse can be controlled. When the ice palace was completed, Adebimpe was moved there. She was sad and lonely, but she understood that her father was trying to protect her. Oba Adewale made a declaration to the kingdom. Any man who could withstand the cold and be beaten by the snakes for 7 days without dying would not only marry Adebimpe, but would also receive half of the king's wealth. Many brave men came to the ice palace, hoping to break the curse and win Adebimpe's hand. But one by one, they failed. During the day, the ice would melt and the snakes emerging from Adebimpe's hair beat them mercilessly, while the extreme cold and trauma of the snakes haunted their dreams at night. None could endure the torment for 7 days. The people of Ilesha watched in suspense as each suitor came and went. They gossiped about the curse, the princess, and the brave men who tried to save her. Some felt pity for Adebimpe, while others saw her as a symbol of bad luck. One day, a humble hunter named Ayodele heard about the challenge. Ayodele was known for his bravery and kind heart. He lived a simple life in the forest, hunting for food and helping those in need. When he heard about Adebimpe, he felt a deep sympathy for her. "I will go to the ice palace and break the curse," Ayodele declared to his friends. "I may not be a prince, but I will prove my courage and bravery." With determination, Ayomide made his way to the palace. When he arrived, he was welcomed by Oba Adewale and Olori Abike, who were impressed by his humility and bravery. That night, Ayodele was sent to the ice palace and stayed there with Adebimpe. As they talked, he learned about her kindness, intelligence, and inner beauty. They shared stories of their lives and dreams, and Ayodele felt a growing affection for her. Afternoon came. The snakes began to emerge from Adebimpe's hair. They hissed and slithered towards Ayodele, but he did not run. Instead, he stood his ground and faced them with courage. The snakes beat him, but Ayodele endured the pain, refusing to give up. For 7 days and 7 nights, Ayodele endured the torment of the snakes and extreme temperature. Day and night were great torment for him, and each day he grew weaker. But his growing love for Adebimpe gave him strength, and his experience hunting in the bush for years helped him endure the pain. He knew that if he could survive, he would save her from the curse. Adebimpe watched in awe as Ayodele fought through the pain. She cared for him at night, tending to his wounds and encouraging him to stay strong. Her feelings for Ayodele deepened, and she prayed that he would succeed. On the 7th night, Ayodele was at his weakest. The snakes beat him with more fury than ever before. His vision blurred, and his body ached with pain. But he held on, driven by his love and his determination to break the curse. As the sun began to rise on the 8th day, the snake suddenly recoiled and disappeared. Nothing happened. The evidence of Adebimpe's hair falling off until she was bald was evidence that her curse had been broken. Ayodele had endured the torment and proved his love and courage. When the people of Ilesha heard the news, they were filled with joy and relief. Oba Adewale and Olori Abike welcomed Ayodele and Adebimpe back to the palace with open arms. They were proud of Ayodele's bravery and grateful for his love for their daughter. Adebimpe's hair grew back, though not as long as before, but it was beautiful and shining as ever. Preparations for grand celebration began in the kingdom. Ayodele and Adebimpe were to be married in a beautiful ceremony. But just a day before their union, the whole village was in an uproar again, a nastier one this time. The whole palace was turned upside down, and the villagers' homes were barged into. There was unrest in the palace, and the guards were searching relentlessly for Princess Adebimpe. But despite their thorough search of every corner of the village, she was nowhere to be found. Princess Adebimpe has disappeared.